accepted the fact that, guys really don't understand how many times I've actually dreamed of standing up here with a microphone in my hand in a bathtub. And the even cooler part about that is I get to stand up here and talk about how totally awesome Jesus is. And, but, 2.5 years ago, before I became a hardcore follower of Jesus, I kind of considered myself pretty normal. In fact, I think the worst problem I had was I considered myself, I guess, a perfectionist. Like, I was so totally worried about my grades. And you might go, hey, what's the big deal? Why are you worried about your grades? And it really was the priority of the things, the way I had put it in my life. I made my grades dictate everything, my relationship with people, my family life, everything. And really, it all came, I guess God really fell at the end of that list. He was there, but not really. I guess that's the way I looked at it. And, like I said, I was pretty normal. You'd see me walking around the school hallways. I'd kind of just slump there, stressed out. The whole world was on my shoulders. Got my hands wet. And people would be like, you know what? That's life. You have to get used to it. And I always started to believe it too, because I didn't know that Jesus had something better called life than what I was living. Being raised Catholic, the first time I walked into a church like this, I was about 15. And my friend Lindsay invited me to Ignite. It was pretty weird, I guess. In fact, I remember walking in here that night and thinking, wow, this is different than what I thought. These people are weirder than what I thought. So, and I left here that night with one thought in my mind. What drugs are these people on? So, being a kid that's so consumed with grades and everything, I went home and did some research, and you type into Google, what drugs are Christians on? And I wasn't feeling lucky, so I clicked search instead. And so I clicked search, and right up top, it sometimes gives you suggestions. It said, "Did you mean Jesus?" I'm like, no. but okay. So eventually I did find out that that drug that I thought Christians were on really wasn't a drug at all, and it was Jesus. And the totally awesome part about that was that it was legal, and I could have it too. But really, in reality, I did have to do some real soul searching, and I decided I was pretty tired of living that stressful life, and getting miserable all the time, and bringing people down. So I'm like, yeah. So I accepted Jesus, and it was pretty awesome. And I'm not going to stand up here and say, oh, my life's awesome. I run around fields and skip and unicorns and stuff like that, because that would be a lie, and I'm not in the business of lying these days. And that's basically it. I accepted Jesus, and not lying. I'm not going to say that my life's perfect, because Jesus says in John 16:33 that there's going to be problems in this world. But then he also goes on to say, but take heart, I have overcome the world. And me being in Jesus, and Jesus now living in me since I've become a believer, I know that this life is only temporary. It's a very short span of time. And that I too will overcome the world. So, thank you.
All right, I don't even know what to say. That was awesome. Okay. Mark, you're awesome, man. To see your love and passion for Christ has just been inspiring. And it's because of your faith and your testimony in Jesus Christ that it's my privilege to baptize you today in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.